Welcome to Battle Mat Night. Today we're going to paint Gelgus Pust. We're going to start with Ironrack skin and put this all over all of his fleshy bits. Next we're going to take Lead Belcher and cover all of his armor and metal accessories and weapons. Now we're going to take Sigvald Burgundy and do all of his cloth. Now with Screaming Skull, we're going to give his horns and the leg antennae type of things on his back a base coat. With both Screaming Skull and Ironrack skin, we're going to paint a bit of a gradient, starting with Ironrack skin at the top and then Screaming Skull at the bottom of his wings hard non-membrane area. Now taking a Athonian Camo Shade, we're going to go all over all of the flesh that we painted. Now with Coelia Green Shade, we're going to go all over all the Lead Belcher we painted. As well as go over those wing connector parts. So this is with all of our color blocking in. You can see we have some nice gradients going on, and now we're just going to punch up the details. Starting with Deepkin Flesh, we're going to do a very watery layer onto all of the wings membranes. This is going to give us a base for the watercolor effect that I do on all of my Magakin of Nurgle models that have wings. And give the toes a little bit of a highlight while we're here. The skull. Now using Fire Slayer Flesh, we're going to do all of his wooden wicker detailing, like his crown, and then we're going to paint the fur that he has on him, and then working at his claw antenna bits. We're going to start a real nice gradient, and we'll repeat this on the horns here in just a minute as well. But really working in the water with the Fire Slayer Flesh to create a real soft transition. We're going to give a little bit of tone and color change to the hooves and work that in with some water as well. Now going back to Deepkin Flesh, we're going to do some highlighting on the skin. and the face. And then we're going to use a little bit of a stippling highlight method just to give some blotchiness to the skin as well, leaving this pretty pure paint. Next up, Iron Jaw's yellow. We're going to take this contrast paint and quickly dab at all of his sores and pusts. And now we're going to prep the wings for the watercolor effect. We're going to start by taking clean water and brushing it all over all of the white membranes of the wings. We're going to take our first color, Gelgus Purple, and start dabbing pretty big globs of it onto the wings, and then just working with the water to kind of put the color where it most suits our fancy. This is really subjective of how heavy with this effect you go and where you want the colors to go exactly, but they're going to be pretty runny. You're going to let them dry a little bit and then start wicking away the paint to really give that watercolor effect. And this is just our first of two colors that we're going to do, but we need to let this one dry completely before we try the next one, so that's why we're doing it in between things right now. I personally like the color to be a little bit stronger towards where the wings join into the back. So I'm just adding just a little bit more color up towards those shoulder blade back area. We're going to continue with the Gelgus Purple and create kind of the red effect on the skin of where the armor's probably digging in. Where his skin's really irritated. Just kind of watering that down a bit and dabbing it on at those join points. And then taking a little bit of water to thin out and feather out that edge. Next up, Quellia Green Shade. This is going to be the last bit of the watercolor effect on the wings, and we're going to dab this on in the same fashion as the Gelgus Purple. Next up, Vulpus Pink, we're going to paint the gums. Nuln Oil, we're going to go all over all of the armor and weapons to give them a little bit more of depth. And cover his back fur as well, and the wraps on his weapons. Now taking Screaming Skull, we're going to pick out his teeth and his beautiful grin. Using Evil Sun Scarlet, pick out his eyes. And now using the rust effect from Dirty Down, just gonna go a bit over the top with this, but then we'll soften it with the water soluble properties of this specific type of rust effect so that it really looks a little bit more of like natural oozing rust. Lastly, we're going to do our dry brush of Deepkin Flesh. I'm really enjoying the cool tone that this dry brush brings to the highlights, and we've been doing it on all of our models so far in the series. And this is how I painted our Gelgus Pust. I absolutely adore how he came out. He was my favorite to paint. I hope you'll check him out on one of our Darkwater quests as we post them on the channel. I've been Tori, and this has been Battle Mat Night. Good night.